Chamge mising chitab Kalenjin amang'u ale chamegei eng olda tugul ole tesetai inyorune tugetab Kass TV eng saishechu. Kakoit kasarta nebo logoiwekab emet eng koindo nesomanwo kekwane Bernard Koech kibotegei ak Naomi Cherotich itagat ketestai. Katestai kokimit President William Ruto kole wendi kwai kit age tugul imukoksei koker kole kakikanapta bandab tai nebo emoni konamgei ak emotinwek chekoba tai eng boisionik chebo bandab tai. Kong'ololi kakolumdoi koita nebo teksetab korik chebo affordable housing eng komasta nebo Achas Post eng county nebo Samburu, komwa Ruto kole tindoi tetutik serikalinyi chetoreti mising eng kanaptaetab bandab tai asikobit walet neo eng emetab Kenya. Konerekyi ine nekirubeiwonyi notok ko Rigathi Gachagua ak kandoik alak chebo upinzani chekomwa kole maimuchi Kenya koityi emotinwek chekikotestai mising eng bandab tai, ole kamwa president kole imukoksei noto ako nyolu eng biikab emoni konyor komang'unet.
Sasa nasikia wale watu wa ukabila, wale watu wa chuki, wale watu hawana maono, wale watu hawana mpango, wale watu hawana sera, wale watu hawana agenda, ati wanasema haiwezekani Kenya kutoka third world kwenda first world. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa majamaa, nyinyi si wale watu hawana mpango, ni kweli? Sera, mpango, sera, agenda, ama namna gani? Sijui kama tunaelewana my friends. Tumeelewana? Sasa mimi nataka niwaeleze hawa jamaa. Nyinyi hamukuamini chochote tuliwaambia tutabadilisha Kenya. Hata saa hizi hamuwezi kuamini ya kwamba we can move our country from a third world country to a first world country. But we are going to shock you. We are going to surprise you because Kenya in our lifetime is going to move from a third world country to a first world country because we have the plan, we have the vision, and we have the resources to do it. Nyinyi hamuna. Ama namna gani bwana? Sinaelewana? Si walituambia haiwezekani kupunguza gharama ya maisha? Si walituambia haiwezekani turahishe mambo ya elimu? Si walituambia haiwezekani mambo ya afya? Si walituambia haiwezekani mambo ya housing? Imewezekana, haijawezekana? Hii ya first world kutoka third world mpaka first world itawezekana ama haitawezekana? Mimi najua itawezekana kwa mapenzi ya Mungu, kwa kura zenu, support yenu na kwa umoja wetu.
Noto ko President William Ruto nekong'ololi eng komasta nebo Achas Post eng county nebo Samburu eng karonetab rani. Yekitestai ak logoiwekab emet chitab Kalenjin ko tesetai eng nguno igorta nebo lumdaetab reports oeng cheiboru boisionikab kapkirwok. Reports chenotin kou annual report nebo 2024-2025 noto ko Administration of Justice in Kenya annual report 2024-2025 ak nebo Justice Sector Monitoring, Evaluation and Learning Framework ole tesetai igorta eng taonitab Nairobi kondochini kirwogindet neo anan Chief Justice Martha Koome ne eng nguni kong'ololi eng tuyonoto akebendi agenge akoi makawanoto tesetai igorta asikipchit ng'alaletab Chief Justice Martha Koome.
And by, we are eliminating competition because we are realizing that we are all owning a critical part of this, we call it chain link, and it is always as strong as it is at the weakest point. And when one is at the weakest point, we are ready to recognize, like we have all recognized our weakest point is the fight against corruption in our society. And we must address it, all of us. We called you, our CS, as a special guest because we recognized what you did in Jukwaa ya Usalama. We always do it as the judiciary. You remember in January we had the judiciary dialogue there. And at the Court Users Committee, we are always trying to bring everybody together. But what Jukwaa did was to energize the police, the chiefs, and everybody to take the rightful position at the Court Users Committee. And there they will be asking, why are things not working? So thank you very much for that, because that brought out the need for a complete Marshall Plan for the justice sector. It is an expensive venture for us to build those police stations, to build those courts. The other day, a young judicial officer was giving us our own experience of going to work in those courts where we do not have an infrastructure, and she has to walk with her high heels to a pit latrine with her tight skirt and her high heels. So, I mean, it's the same. So we need this infrastructure, both for the police stations, for our prisons, and for our courts. So allow me to adopt and write on the protocols and say to all of you, thank you for taking time to join us to launch the 2 landmark justice sector documents that define our collective achievements and strategic direction of our justice sector. We agreed along the way that we are all champions of justice, that everybody wants to experience justice, and therefore it is a common good. The Administration of Justice in Kenya Annual Report 2024-2025 and the Monitoring, Evaluation and Learning Guiding Framework for Kenya's justice sector is a contribution and a journey we have all worked together. I want to thank the committees of NCJ. You have been thanked before, you have been recognized, but this is really your effort because our secretariat is very thin. I've never seen a secretariat that is so thin on the ground in terms of human resource capital and also financial capital, but it is able to deliver so much. Let us really appreciate these committees and our secretariat for coming up with many, many documents, including what we are launching today, which embody our commitment as a justice sector to accountability to the people of Kenya and our quest for continuous improvement in service delivery. As we sit here, we should always remind ourselves we are the apex. At the grassroots level, the court level, we have the Court Users Committee that mirrors exactly the people who are seated here. And we must work hard and ensure those court users committees, like the CS has recommended, should work with the Attorney General's kiosk for legal aid, and we must render justice to our people. Because that is what is required of us by our Constitution, that the justice system must be accessible, it must be transparent, accountable, and anchored under the rule of law. This is the vision also of the NCJ that aligns with Kenya's Vision 2030, including the Sustainable Development Goals, especially goal number 16 on peace, justice, and strong institutions, as well as goal number 17 on partnerships. AG, this approach also encompasses your bottom-up approach vision of the government, because this is the vision of the government that looks at the people on the bottom, the people on the lower hand, and seeing how can we ensure they too access justice? How can they be uplifted? How can they live a life of dignity? So for this, we are all together, because what we are looking at is a framework that reminds us that we must be fair, we must be inclusive, and we must be accountable so that we can maintain social stability and we can promote economic growth and foster sustainable development. CS, I'm not afraid of meeting anybody because I'm well grounded under the mandate that I execute as the Chief Justice. The Constitution of Kenya tells me about the separation of power, reminds me of the oath of office I have taken, and everybody, state officer, including the president, has taken an oath to protect the Constitution. So I'm not scared of any meeting or meeting anybody because I cannot be compromised. I've always said my independence is not like corona, so that when I meet with the people, they will be infected or they will infect me. We are going to be speaking about the administration of justice, what it is that we can do to strengthen the cogs of justice and the wheels of justice. So anytime, please call us for that meeting as NCAJ. We will come with our agenda, and we will even want to share these reports with the executive, with the legislature, and with the entire Kenyans. Meeting to discuss the administration of justice or the development of this country does not mean compromise. So for us, we have to continue with this partnership between all the actors, state actors and non-state actors, as well as our development partners in prioritizing justice delivery as a driver of societal development, peace, and security. I meet everybody. I've met development partners, and they have told me they are here to represent the interests of their countries. And none of them is here to report on a failed state. They all want to report on success. So they have come to support us so that Kenya can be a success story. Kenya can be a case study for the rest of the continent where they come for benchmarking. And indeed, I have received in the judiciary many, many delegations coming to benchmark on one thing or another, including this collaboration within NCAJ, because they are wondering how they can have the court users committees, how they can have a children's month like we are in today, thinking about the children in the justice sector. How can they have a strategy that deals with the vulnerable, the SGBV and the children? So we have many good best practices to share, and we are so grateful for our development partners because they have continued to encourage us. So among the notable achievements for the last financial year was the development of 2 pioneering frameworks that advance integrity and sustainability within the justice sector. We want to remind ourselves of these 2 very, very pioneering frameworks: the Anti-Corruption Strategic Guiding Framework for Kenya's justice sector. For us, this marked a major milestone in the sector's collective resolve to combat corruption and economic crimes. The framework provides for a coordinated multi-agency approach for justice sector institutions to prevent, detect, and respond to corruption and economic crimes.
Notajitab Kalenjin ko ngalaletab kirwogindet neo eng emoni anan Chief Justice Martha Koome ko ngalali eng igorta nebo lumdaetab report aeng cheiboru boisionik chebo kapkirwok. Report netai ko Administration of Justice in Kenya Annual Report nebo 2024-2025 ak report nebo aeng nekilumdoi ko Justice Sector Monitoring, Evaluation and Learning Framework ole tesetai igorata eng makawet agenge nemite taonitab Nairobi. Ko yekatestai ak logoiwekab emet ko katestai malake eng MPs kobun komasta nebo Kirinyaga eng komasta nebo Mount Kenya kole makat eng meng'ikab komasta nebo Mount Kenya kotestai kokoch kasubet serikalitab President William Ruto eng mwaet kole chang boisionik chekikomuch kosulda ine eng komasta bo Central Kenya ak komoswek alak chebo emetab Kenya ak kunoto konyoljin kelewen kotestai koek president eng kenyitab 2027 asikomuch kowang boisionik chetomo kosuldae agoi nguni. Kondochin MP nebo Ndia noto ko George Kariuki ak MP nebo komasta nebo Kirinyaga Central Gashoki Gitari ak MP nebo Gishugu noto ko Robert Gishimu komwa kandoichoto kole manyolu kikoch kasubet nekirubeiwotab president Rigathi Gachagua eng mwaet kole kosubkei ak nekikiisto inendet eng bounatet keboisie oret nebo impeachment komakoi kobeljigei ng'echeretab president eng lewenisiet neo nemite tai ak kunoto komakat eng meng'ikab komasta nebo Central Kenya kong'et eng serikalitab Kenya Kwanza.
Naye former deputy president, ukweli ya mambo ni kuwa kwa sababu ako impeached hawezi simama kiti yote mpaka ya MCA. Sasa yeye atasimama mbele yenu awasukume ndio awapeleke mahali anataka, lakini sio mahali mutapata maendeleo. Mimi nataka kuwaomba watu wetu wa Central Kenya na watu wetu wa Kenya to support President William Ruto amalizie kazi yenye ameendelea nayo. Mutapatia President William Ruto support? Wacha nione wangapi wanasema Ruto tutam.
Naye William Ruto sababu ni mwanafunzi mzuri, amefundishwa na Moi, akafundishwa na Kibaki, akafundishwa na Uhuru, akasema atakuja kumalizia mabarabara na development zote Uhuru alikuwa ameanza. Na saa hii tuko hapa. Hii ni barabara ilikuwa imeanziwa na Uhuru Kenyatta na saa hii inaendelea ya kutoka Kiamudhambi kwenda Gatuto. Si ndio? Kuna ile ingine ya pale Kiangongo TVC. Akasema atamalizia contractor kwa site. Tunashukuru rais wetu kwa kuhakikisha tunamalizia. Na kitu ingine, hii TVET yetu hapa, hata TVET zote za Kirinyaga, hii yetu ya Kiangongo, tunajengewa mabweni ama dormitory. The budget is passed and the contractors will be on site. Finally, I want to thank the government of Kenya Kwanza because for the first time, Kirinyaga has never had a KMTC, but I want to assure you that we will do the first KMTC at Kirugoya and we will be doing the groundbreaking before 5th of December.
Umoja wetu utafanya maendeleo kwa sababu hata kuna barabara zingine zinakata kutoka Mwea, zinakuja Ndia, zinakuja Kirinyaga Central na zinakuja hata Geshogo, barabara moja na contractor mmoja. Kwa hivyo tukikosa kushikana zinaweza kosa kukamilika zote. Na tunashirikiana kusema hii serikali yale mambo mazuri inaendelea kufanyia wananchi, aswa hata kuinua kina mama na wayuthi. Waendelee kwa sababu haja yetu ni maendeleo. Kwa sasa sisi hatuna haja ya siasa. Siasa tutaifanya 2027. Na tutaifanya kwa heshima na bila matusi. Kwa hivyo wale wanatuletea matusi na kukuja kutudharau kama viongozi hapa, tafadhali tuheshimu, kwa sababu hawa walituheshimu na wakatupatia nafasi tuwaongoze. Sio tuende tukajinufaishe, ila tuwaletee maendeleo wanayostahili. Kwa hivyo mimi sina mengi, nasema zile project zilianzishwa na serikali iliyopita ambayo ilikuwa inaongozwa na Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta. Tunashukuru kwa sababu barabara zingine Mheshimiwa Rais Ruto amesema hataanzisha project zingine za mabarabara kama hatujamaliza zile zilikuwa zimeanzishwa, na zilikuwa zimekaa kidogo kwa sababu naye hakuwa na pesa, zilifanyiwa contracting, pesa ikakuwa kidogo. Sasa Honorable Dr. Ruto, mheshimiwa wetu, rais wetu, ndiyo ameng'ang'ana kutafuta hiyo pesa, na tunashukuru kwa sababu GK amekuwa katika hiyo mpango na minister kusaidia na rais, ndio pesa ya kumaliza mabarabara zetu ipatikane. Tunajengewa hostel kwa kila TVET. Mpango wa Nyota tunaomba ufike hapa Kirinyaga, na najua mumeitwa kuangaliwa wale wamejisajili, lakini hata nyinyi vile tuliona imekuwa launched Kirinyaga, pia wanayuthi watapatikana na watasaidika na hiyo mpango ya Nyota, ambapo kila muyuth mwenye atachukuliwa na mtandao, because inachukuliwa na kompyuta, atapata shilingi 50 ya kuanzisha biashara, pesa ya bure kabisa kutoka kwa serikali. Hutawahi rudisha hiyo pesa, sio mkopo.
Yakitestai ak logoiwekab emet ketokchinigei county nebo Nakuru ole kaindochi benkitab NCBA tuyet agenge ne naat ko Future Ready Schools Embracing Sustainability and Innovation eng taonitab Nakuru ole kayum tuyonoto biik chenomu sukulishek chebo private ak stakeholders alak chebo somanet asikeng'alale ortinwek chenyorune sukulishek rabinik ak kanabtaetab somanet eng tetutik alak cheboto ribetab itonwekab emet. Kanyor kanetisiet eng tuyonoto kandoik chebo sukulishek kotinygei ak ortinwek cheimuchi konyorune rabinik cheole basishek chebo sukul ak tuguk chebo somanet koboto ortinwek chebo lipanet cheu Soma Plus ak NCBA Tills koboto internet banking nenaat mising kou NCBA Connect Plus chenyumnyumi tetutikab lipanet. Kong'ololi eng tuyonoto komwa director nebo commercial and SME banking eng benkinoto bo NCBA Robert Kiboti komwa ine kole bo komonut sukulishek amu ikoito somanet ak siretab boisionik ak kunoto kochobot benkinoto kotoret sukulishek koityi magutikwai chebo somanet.
We recognize that schools are SMEs. Schools are run like businesses and they have complexities when it comes to running an institution like a school. There are needs, financial needs that each of these directors need to look into. Their salaries to be paid, suppliers to be sorted out, as well as even expansion, which entails infrastructure as well as assets like transport. So it's important we look at them like businesses. So we realize and recognize that there are a lot of threats happening within that space. For instance, now we see a lot of accountability, transparency, and also the aspect of rising costs when it comes to running of institutions. With that in mind, it then calls for any partner or any bank working with a school to think beyond just a current account where people are putting in money and getting that money out. When it comes to transparency, for example, you require systems, efficiency, systems that are able to give you good reports, accounting documents that owners and shareholders of the school can actually be able then to consume. So with that in mind, then we look at a situation where schools are demanding more and more with regard to how they run their school and the resources they require to do that. Recognize that to run a school, you need to do it differently. You need to think outside the box. So what we've done as a bank is beyond the current account or the savings account, we brought in partners who have come in to add value to the schools. An example is the accounting system, the Soma Plus solution, which helps schools be able to collect and do their reconciliations effectively. We've partnered with some of the people that have come here today who are talking to the school owners, like for instance, Fion, which has developed a revolutionary Chico that helps reduce the cooking of food from 6 hours to down to 45 minutes maximum of 1 hour.
My name is Mercy Chalo. I'm the founder and the CEO of Fion Green Ventures Limited. Fion is a clean technology company that revolutionizes how schools and other large institutions do their meals. We deploy, manufacture institutional grade electric pressure cookers. The minimum capacity right now is 50 liters, serving around 100 students, while the maximum capacity is 500 liters, doing 1,000 students and above. Yeah. When we were starting, we had this experience where we visited one of the schools in Turkana County, And in our visit, we realized the students in Turkana County actually go and fetch firewood themselves. And when they fetch firewood, it takes them around 3 to 4 hours of class time. And when they come back, in most cases, they're very tired. And again, the food has to take another 4 hours for it to get ready. Therefore, it means that a whole day gets done. So we realized that while in Turkana the problem is that the students fetch firewood, in other counties, like where we come from in Makueni, the schools have the capability of paying for this firewood, and they pay quite a lot. So we did a survey in various other counties, and we realized that this is a widespread problem, and studies have shown that at least 90% of Kenyan schools are still relying on firewood, and they spend up to like 1 million Kenya shillings per year. Others even do 3 million per year on fuel for cooking. So for us, we realize this is a big problem because they're spending a lot, and what they're spending the money on is already not sustainable. Almost all kitchens in different schools right now and other large institutions are smoky and they're dark. And you can tell where the kitchen is from the gate because of the smoke. So that for us, that was a problem that we needed to change.
Eng logoiwek alak chitab Kalenjin ko katestai kolos President William Ruto tetutiet nebo teksetab korik chebo olet nemiten ngwony anan affordable housing eng mwaet kole tokchinigei koib bandab tai akosir barnotik chechang eng boisiet eng emoni. Kong'ololi kangolumdo koita nebo teksetab korik chebo affordable housing eng komasta nebo Achas Post nemite county nebo Samburu, komwa Ruto kole tesetai komie teksetab korichoto ole wendi serikali koteche korichoto eng komoswek tugul chebo emoni, akonoto kocher biikab emet tetutienoto asikonyorune kelchin.
Nimefika hapa katika mradi huu wa affordable housing. Nye mnanielewa? Serikali ya Kenya tumetoa milioni 812 kujenga haya manyumba hapa Achas Post. Tunaelewana? Na tunajenga haya manyumba ili wananchi wa hapa, wananchi wa Achas Post, wananchi wa Samburu East wapate makao mazuri ya kuishi. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Hapa tutajenga nyumba ya gorofa mpaka gorofa namba 10. Kwani ilisemekana London peke yake ndio inajengwa nyumba ya gorofa? Si hata hapa Samburu inaweza kujengwa nyumba ya gorofa? Mnasema hawa wangwana watafute shamba ingine? Mimi nataka hawa watu watafute shamba kubwa, ekari 100, ndio nipange manyumba mengine, nipange police station pale, niwajengee shule mpya, niweke pale hospitali, tuwe na city mzuri hapa Achas Post. Ama mnasemaje marafiki zangu watu wa Achas? Tuendelee namna hiyo? Mnasema tuendelee namna hiyo? Na nishamwambia contractor wa hapa, hii manyumba tunajenga hapa tunahitaji zaidi ya vijana 500 wa kufanya hii kazi. Na hawa vijana wote wawe vijana wa hapa Achas Post. Vijana wa hapa ndio watafanya hii kazi. Vijana wa hapa Achas Post, muko tayari ama muko tayari? Vijana muko tayari ama muko tayari? Mutajituma? Hapa tunahitaji watu ambao wamesomea architecture. Tunahitaji engineers, tunahitaji masons, tunahitaji carpenters, tunahitaji electricians, tunahitaji hata watu ya mkono. Nyinyi muko ama hamuko bwana? Mnanielewa? Tunaelewana? Vile vile tumekubaliana ya kwamba wakati tunajenga haya manyumba, sio hapa Achas Post peke yake. Tunajenga manyumba zingine kule Wamba, tunajenga nyumba zingine kule Maralal, tunajenga nyumba zingine kule Baragoi. Tunataka kubadilisha Samburu County. Serikali ya Kenya tumetoa bilioni 7.4 ya mambo ya affordable housing, ya masoko pamoja na hostels ya watu wa Samburu County.
Koibel timitab KCB nebo urerietab rugby title nebo Challenger Cup nebo ureriet nebo rugby eng tournament nebo Fladis nekokureren eng weekend nekosirtoi eng taonitab Nairobi, kobir KCB timitab Strathmore eng pointishek 42 eng 12 eng finals nebo ng'alaletab urerenindet nebo KCB Vincent Onyala.
Sunday tournament as part of our rebuilding. I think we are quite excited with how the league so far. And just as I say, building block by block, seeing how we gel as a team, incorporating the new boys, and hopefully we see how the season will kick off. I believe we are ready. Just keeping on with the build-up, because when the Kass Cup is quite competitive, and we are really excited that with the new season and the new players we've gotten, we are quite hopeful to play up to the final. And now we are going on to the third. Yeah, the wait has been long, and we're also hungry. We know where we've been beaten. We worked our bits and pieces, brought in the energy that we think can take us forward, and we are quite hopeful to at least end the season with a trophy.
Tetat komanda timitab Kenya nebo Deaflympics akotokchigei taonitab Tokyo eng emetab Japan ole kiyae kabelishet noto nebo Deaflympics kosubkei ak CEO nebo Team Kenya Duncan Kuria kochobo timitab Kenya kobelis eng kabelishonoto.
The arrangements in Tokyo are complete. They are ready to roll out the games. I think all the concerned countries have confirmed participation, and all the arrangements have been done. We visited right from the airport, going to what they are calling Deaf Square, where they'll be doing accreditation. Then they have transport hubs where the teams will be assembling to be taken to various competition and practice venues. And also accommodation for all the teams. Arrangements are complete. So in terms of preparation in Japan, everything is ready. For Team Kenya, we are also ready, and we are continuing to finalize our final plans to travel to Tokyo for the games. That has been, I don't know, somehow this week that has been a constant subject, which I've seen even in our social media platforms, where I think the athletes are saying that they are performing well is driven by ugali. Unfortunately, in Japan we don't have ugali, but we are making arrangement to ensure that we carry some maize flour, so that when we get to Tokyo we can have them eating their favorite meal. If that is what will enable them to win medals, I think as leaders in the team, we can give them what they want and ensure that they don't have an excuse of not winning medals.
Akoyetajitab Kalenjin kokakeilet nebo logoiwekab emet ak tetutiet nebo Kass Mashinani nebo betutab rani Jumatatu tarik 10 arawetab 11 eng kenyitab 2025 akoi sait agenge nebo koskoleng asinyoru logoiwek alak chebo emet eng koindo kongete yutobo studio nebo Kass TV. Kaininyu ko Bernard Koech, kakiboteke ak Naomi Cherotich ak imagun betut nemie amu kimnatet naet.